Für die Raumstation. Music 24 hours a day. Yeah. Das Interview. Today with me.
Hi Mel, thank you for being so kind to tell us some lovely stories about your life and music. To introduce myself, I'm Christine and I will take over responsibility to ask you the questions of this interview.
Thank you, Christina.
Great. You started, as far as I know, music late, with 25, right?
Yes, round about this age I was a dancer in a jazz gym group. We had a festival called Andere Mai-Festspiele. It was in Wiesbaden area. And I was one of the dancers, and the theme was Nightmare. A group of musicians playing free improvisation jazz. The dancers, in the dark, they should do some voices. Somehow like ooh and ah and so on. And I did that, of course. So the musicians said, wow, you have a good voice. Why don't you do something with that? And then I thought, okay, let's try it. And I started to sing from this time.
Okay. And you were born and grew up in Germany in a small city in Frankfurt area, right?
Yes, a little bit famous now, because we had one of these church people building a very big building with a golden toilet and everything. It was all over the press. So many know this place. It's Limburg an der Lahn. And it was a real special place due to we had a lot of music around. A place called Kalkberg, which was a meeting point, an old, I don't know how to say that, it's where you dig for chalk and something like that. It's a big company, and all the rest remaining there was given to the young people. They could make rehearsal rooms, painting rooms, had a big arena where we could do festivals, 500, 600 people coming there, being creative in all directions. And a lot of famous musicians came from that area. And in these festivals, a lot of people, it was well known in all over Germany. So a lot of people came over there. And I grew up in this environment, let's say. Music all around, and you went to this rehearsal room, to that rehearsal room, you listened, you played together. They're building bands, and from this band to that band, and it was really a wonderful time for everybody loving things like that.
Amazing. And what was your first band and style?
The first band ever was a band called Choco Banana and the Jungle Fever Big Band. And I think it had been 12 or 13 people, saxophone and drums and percussion and guitar, 2 guitars, bass guitars, some singers, and I can't remember. We were a big group on stage. We were just forming for this event. And we made 3 or 4 self-made songs. It was a great success. It was my first gig on stage ever. I remember well and love it still.
Okay. And after this somehow mixed big band, which was created only for this festival, you were asked to enter a 5-head jazz rock band, from which now 2 are really famous musicians. And where you met your first husband and father of your kids, isn't it?
Yes, that's true. This band was somehow in this, we say, jazz rock crime, because these times were very related to jazz rock. It was a lot of years now not modern. I think at the moment young people do it again, jazz rock. We were loving this kind of music, and it's true, there was Patrick Leuschner on drums, and he is in the meantime in Berlin in an orchestra of the classical orchestra of the opera playing, And another one, the keyboarder, with Frank Gerhard is his name. He was in Venice and all around. He's writing classical music, and he's a composer of classical music, and he works for various orchestras all over the world. So I was blessed with people around doing a music career. And yes, I met my hubby there. He was a bass player at a Warwick bass. At that time, very cool and long hair, a nice guy, so was easy to fall in love with. And I think we were the first couple of musicians in that time in that area. And people loved to invite us to parties and so on, because somehow we were a little bit the jet set couple of that time.
Okay. Same. Do you have any recording of this band, and can you introduce this in case?
Yes, I have a recording. Maybe it is my first recording ever. It is a song called Toulouse and is about the painter Toulouse-Lautrec. And at this time playing were Jürgen Brake on the guitar, Patrick Leuschner on drums, Frank Eschek Gerhard on the piano, my former hubby Johannes Michel on the bass guitar, and me singing the jazz rock criminals went pop.
Later on, when you got your first daughter, you needed to finish Agua due to your hobby, and you could not be same time out. But you did not miss doing music and started to do some girls' band?
Yes. I forgot to mention this jazz rock band. The name was Aragua, so just to clear that up. Yes, we did. I was jealous because my hobby was going out doing music with a kind of rock and roll band. They had a stand-up bus and they had a lot of success and fun. They played all the rockabilly things in the area and had a lot of gigs, and I was at home with my daughter and so I said, okay, let's do a girls' band. And actually this was very funny because I asked all the people around, the ladies around who would love to play an instrument, and they joined. In the beginning, 7 of us never had any instrument in the hand. So we had a saxophone, Messi on the saxophone, we had Karin Kumfert on drums, we had Susanne on vocals, me on bass guitar, and Anja was doing the keyboard, and she met black points on the keyboard to see where she has to put the hands to play the chord. And we covered songs, very easy songs with 2 or 3 chords. But in the end it was a sensation because we were 7 women on stage in nice dresses. It was a great fun, yes. Our gigs, we had some as well, how do you call it? If they dance in front of the stage, we had some nice men. Go boys, yes. Then the next girls' band, this was Beauty and the Beast. The next girls' band was already serious, let's say. So we could play and we learned to play. We formed a band called Wonderbra. After this band, some again left and some others joined who had been better players. And then we formed PMS, Prämenstruell Syndrom, which was... which was a really cool band. We did punk music and we had the guitar was nearly at the bottom of the floor and my bass guitar was hanging at the bottom on the floor, so we made a lot of crash. And yes, after this we stayed with the girls' band. I have to tell you, this is a nice story. I got the second daughter and then I was at home again. After a while I met a friend and she said to me, oh, I want to restart music. And I said, yes, what would you like to do? And she said, I would like to sing. And I thought, okay, I'm a singer too. 2 singers is not a good band, okay. After a while I met another lady and she said, I want to start music again. And I said, she was a guitar player, and I said, what do you want to do? And she said, I would like to sing. I said, okay. We are 3 now. And then the former drummer of Beauty and the Beast, Karin, came and said, I would like to do music again. And I said, let me guess, you want to sing? And she said, yes.
No.
So we were 4 lead singers, let's say, with no instruments. But we looked for instruments and we found instruments, and then we went to stage and we were a really cool band because we could do 2 hours of music without being tired. We changed role. There was 1 lead singer, 3 backing ones. There were 2 lead singer, 2 backing ones. And we really had so much power in this music. We had a good crew. Yes, fantastic time.
Interesting, yes.
Yes, it was really.
And which one of these girls' band had been your favorite ones? And can you introduce a song to us we will play after?
I think it is Corgasm for sure. This is the name of the last band where we had 4 lead singers. It was so interesting project. And yes, I can. There is a song we recorded once. It's called Artificial Smile. It's full of power. There is, just to mention, Karin, it's Astrid, it's Antje and me, and then is we have bass And we have Agi on the drums, who is a very famous drummer right now. He's touring with a world champion of accordion, a young lady. He's touring through all the world with her. And we have, of course, a very genius guitarist who was with a heavy metal band in Russia. They toured in Russia. And yes, this song we go to play now, Artificial Smile.
Wow, that was hot stuff. At that time, which music did influence you most?
Oh, as my name says, Melancholy. I, let's say, was very much influenced by Julia Stone. She has a lovely voice and songs going deep under the skin. It's more acoustic. But for the, let's say, wild things, my favorite band was always Dover, a ladies' band from Spain. The song DJ, if you want to listen to it once in the internet, it's unbelievable powerful. Mm-hmm. And of course Guano Apes, which was a German core band, the lady singer, they used a little bit electric support in their songs. And the last I liked a lot at the time was Die Happy, a German band as well from eastern part of Germany with an excellent singer. And what I loved most is she is doing very sweet and soft parts in the song, and then very powerful and loud, and as well very rocky voice, and sometimes double bass.
Okay. Yes, but tell us, you had some private problems and needed to move at that time, right?
Yes, it was my hubby lost his job from one day to the other, and I was just, let's say, the first weeks on my own business. So I had maybe 200 or 300 German marks at that time, and at that time we had already 5 kids. And no money, so I put a kind of rescue anchor out, and I took a job in Munich area, which was very well paid, and we moved down to Munich, which was as well, on the other hand, a very lucky moment for every one of us.
Okay, great. And what happened then in Munich? How did you proceed?
Music-wise, yes, that was a little bit terrible time for me, because I was used coming from an open music society in Kalkwerk with all the people supporting each other. When in Munich it was different, I tell you. I found a band, and they invited me to a rehearsal, and I opened the door and said, "Hello, yeah, I am." And then they said, "Okay, we play you some songs." And then they played and sang some songs, and then I had to do what they wanted. For me, it was a kind of, I couldn't, my mind is doing, if I hear music, I follow this music, whatever happens. And so it was not possible for me to get any band there, because they were shy, they were somehow a little bit vanished. The bands did not like somebody to come to the rehearsal because maybe somebody steal you something from your song or so. So it was at least 2 years I had no band. I did not find any band I was fitting into.
Okay.
Finally, I found a band called Moonraker. Oh no, we called that band later on Moonraker. It was Heinz and Chris, and they were friends since a lot of years, and we started to make German rock music. Heinz always said it's a kind of a pig rock music, garage kind. And yes, we started and did that, and it was, let's say, a little bit love at first sight.
And this band started to do German lyrics. You liked to sing German, and it's more difficult. Is it more difficult than English?
It is, definitely. It's definitely more difficult, because the German language is more, they have all these very hard sounding melody of language. And to make a nice song you need to have smooth words, and to find the right lyrics for German. If you make punk, it's okay, you can use everything, but make a sensible, nice German lyric instead of English is really more difficult. Okay. And yes, I sang German, English, French, Spanish, even if I cannot speak Spanish. And I did one in Serbian, and this, but I was not allowed to play it because they said I have an accent, a very terrible accent.
Okay. Okay. And can you play and introduce a song of this band for us, please?
You mean the Moonraker band? Yes. Yes, I can. We have 6 pieces recorded. I think each one of these songs is very nice. I would choose a little more romantic one, which is called Sterne, and which is about love and the stars, and going with your love to the end, to the world, and just the sky and you and him. And
it sounds so romantic.
Yes, it is. Oh, here comes Sterne.
Okay.
Komm, steig in meinen Wagen ein. Wir fahren einfach weiter. Wir fliegen ins Glück. Lass uns die Träume leben. Wir fahren ans Ende der Welt. Und immer weiter. Nur du und ich. Wir sind ganz allein. Millionen von Sternen regnen herab. In silbernen Fäden schimmert die Nacht. Millionen von Sternen sind unglaublich nah. Sind Sterne über diesem Meer. Steig in meinen Wagen ein. Wir fahren einfach weiter. Wir vergessen die Zeit. Wir starten durch ins Leben. Wir fahren ans Ende der Welt. Und immer weiter. Nur du und ich. Wir sind ganz allein. Millionen von Sternen regnen herab. In silbernen schimmert die Nacht. Millionen von Sternen sind unglaublich nah. Sind Sterne über dir und mir.
What about after Moonraker? Is there any possibility to listen to a song of this band?
Yes, maybe just I would like to tell you this band was ending very, let's say, kind of dramatic. It still moves me a little bit because these best friend Chris and Heinz, they got somehow in a struggle due to creativity. Mainly the guitarist Heinz was doing the creative work, and then the bassman wanted to be creative as well, and so they started somehow to struggle a little bit around. And one day Chris, the bassman, said to the guitar man Heinz, "I cannot hear your guitar anymore."
No.
And then he left the guitar in the rehearsal room, stepped out of this room, and never took this guitar anymore in his hands until now.
No.
Yes.
That's
so
really
this
sad,
band was
isn't it?
gone, this friendship was gone.
Oh no.
Nobody understood. We all were kind of flashed by this.
Oh my God.
But okay, but it was another question. After Moonraker, I made a band called Sergeant Six. This was a rock band with a very cool guitarist as well and a cool bassman. I liked him a lot. We did 24, 25 self-made songs. Mm-hmm. And of course I can play because we have a lot recorded. I would like to introduce a song that's called Love Letter. Again, love. But this was a special theme because one day a friend of mine, she quit the friendship for no reason. I couldn't understand what happened, and in my eyes I did nothing, but she was kind of mad with me. And she did not speak to me anymore, nothing, and so I sent her a letter. And explained to her, I cannot stay friendship if you have just every time the sword in your hand to cut my head off. And then she thought about that, and she agreed to that, and she came back to me, and we were friends again. But I felt bad, and so I made this lyric and song, love letter to her, and performed it and said always on stage, this is for you, Irene.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Here comes love letter.
That's beautiful.
Near the river, I'm waiting restless in the night. I missed a shelter, I lost connection. I saw the sadness in your eyes. Turning the light. Did you recently receive my little letter? Wrote an eagle wing and sailed through wind and rain. I wanna turn the page and make you feeling better. Turn on the I'm freezing, I'm frightened, and it's hard to understand. You just cut friendship for my own reason, and for me this means the end. Turn on the light. Did you recently receive my little letter? Wrote an eagle wing and sent through wind and rain. I wanna turn the page and make you feeling better. Turn on the light. Did you recently receive my little letter? Wrote an eagle wing and sent through wind and rain. I wanna turn the page and make you feeling better. Turn on the light. Turn on the light, turn on the light. Turn on the light. Turn on the light, turn on the light. Turn on the light.
Before we go on, Christina, I would like to tell you something more about these bands, because when I was in Sergeant 6, I made already an acoustic band beside this rock band, because I thought I get too old and want to be a little more smooth. I met a guy, Uwe Körper is his name. He's the founder of Anyone's Daughter. And he's still with Anyone's Daughter once a year, and they do still music. Was a very famous band in, I think, 70s. we liked each other a lot and started a little bit to gamble around with guitar and vocal and so on. And we noticed it's very nice together, so we took two more into the band. On the bass was Eberhard, and we had a nice woman I love a lot. She's a drum teacher. She entered the band. Janine is her name. And we did some nice guitar acoustic stuff I want to introduce as well. I want to show you Vio's song, which was a typical example of this band.
To run for love. This very other skies suggested me a dream that I couldn't hide. So I do lie, I'm feeling bad to cut and share. We had had it all, and without sins I wouldn't stay. No, without sins I wouldn't stay. All your love is found and lost. You'd feel bad, alright. And now since you're gone, I had it on and I will stay pride. But okay, I declined your loving. It was tearing me apart. And I embraced my freedom while you were running wild. I decided clearly, and I'm convinced I did it right. But you sent kisses to me, and you refused to be free in a furious desperation.
And during all this time, you started to improve your ability to go free with improvisation, isn't it?
Yes, I love to do improv. I met a lady, Sandrina Sedona. She is a singing teacher and she's more than that. I think she's kind of a witch and fae in both together. With her red hair, she has all around her head, and her black dresses, and she's so tiny and she's a witch. But she has the ability to look into people, into voices, into the inner of you. Mm-hmm. Okay, she's doing workshops and workshop weeks, and I entered there, went to Italy with a group of 8 people, and she made unbelievable things with us. Very, very deep going. We make improvisation under the sky in the night, and a lot of cool singers, everything. So I found that is a lot of fun, and I started that and trained that, and I sang from this moment, I think, everything. If I walk, if I am in a park, if I am under the shower, always music in my mind, improvisation. I hear the drops dip, I think it's a rhythm, and then
Wonderful. Okay. So, and you started to go international.
Yes, I met vandalism It's mentioned a lot of time here in the interviews because most of the people met at Vandalism. It's a platform for musicians in the internet where you can collab and find collab partners, all kinds of instruments. I entered that with the first song of mine, and then people joined me, asked me to do something with them. There was Jim with the Sugar Pistols, Fred Snakefishes, Daniela with the Shifter Sisters, Peter with Melani, and all the Hervé to mention, Lou, Binetti, Melvin. And we founded virtual bands, and they came from California, New York, French, Serbia, Australia. It's a real pleasure to find these people. And since that time, of course, the music is international and can be listened international as well.
Okay. And if you could play one song here, just one song, as a sample of these collaborations, which one would you choose?
That's difficult, of course. I would probably use a Sugar Pistol or a Melani or a Shifter Sisters, but it comes to my mind right now one of the most interesting collabs I ever did. This was with Fred Jem. I have a band with him, Snakefishes is the name. And I have a beloved singer friend from Canada. This is Kathy Short. And we always wanted to do something together. We wanted to sing together, but until that time it does not happen. So we asked Fred if he has some kind of instrumental and could do something with us. And he said, ladies, I have an idea. We do following. I give you an instrumental and you write lyric and sing to it, not knowing what the other is doing. And the theme will be friendship. You don't know anything else. And I will puzzle this song together.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yes, it was amazing because nobody could believe that there comes a song out.
Yes.
But there came a really flashing song out, and this is the song I want to play here. It's called Make It Happen, Kathy Short, Fred, Jem and me.
Your ups and downs, and when you cry, little tears come to my room. And the way we share our laughter, hate is flashing out of friendship, trip and pure. I love you, dignity. We make it happen. We're satellite in a lie. Can't you hear the flowers sigh? We make it happen.
After a while, the only things that matter are things money can buy you. After a while, you come to understand love
parallelly, you always wrote songs of your own. If you look at your self-made songs, which one you would like to introduce us as your most important?
I think that's very easy because it's a song called Angel, and it is related to Bataclan because my daughter was at that time in France and she is a complete music fan. She's kind of a DJ. She went to concerts all the time and she wanted to go there to see a concert. And it was 2 days before this happened, and she was still with her mates in France when it happened. And I had no idea if she was, let's say, at that time in that club or not. And I tried to reach her, but she switched off the phone because she had not so much money to spend all these fees in abroad. Yeah. And I was running crazy.
Yeah.
And then after I knew she was well, I wrote this song Angel for all the victims of Bataclan. And this I would like to play.
Yes. So, you made so many styles: jazz, singer-songwriter, rock, pop, punk, blues. What's your favorite?
Singing is my favorite. If I could play instrument, it would surely be playing. I don't know. I mentioned that to my music friends a lot of times. It's like that. I feel that I'm an instrument you can play on. Just deliver me something and I put this song unheard into my computer and I make a first take, just sing along on this music I never heard. I do that because I think once the head starts to think, you try to make a good song. But if you don't do that, if you just sing on this instrumental, you do things you would never do if you have heard the song before. And as a second, Fred Jem, I'm very thankful about that. He once told me it's the most important for a singer, something called like safe singing, means to trust that your voice meets the tone. And that you can do it, let's say, that you have the self-esteem just to follow what's coming out. And this is something I like most. So I can do punk, rock, pop. If you deliver me just piano, I get sentimental. If you deliver me a hard rock piece, I get aggressive.
Oh, really?
So it's that the people play on me, let's say. And this is what I love the most. This is really my passion.
Yes.
And ability, because of course I trained that for years, and if you train yourself, you get a little bit better in things.
Sure. Yes, you do. Okay. So one thing I would like to know for today and to finish the interview, I think we maybe do a second course. So many other lovely songs and possibilities to learn about you, but Entschuldigung, diesen Satz verstehe ich nicht. Den kann ich dir nicht sagen. You created an album with 16 musicians around the world by exchanging just the tracks back and forth and mix and master. It's a charity CD and it is related to water. And from the money you get, 100% goes to a project to build solar pumps, bringing water into villages in Africa.
That's true. And the story for this is that I heard a podcast about South Africa and the lack of water in South Africa. That they made rules that you can shower only for 2 minutes a day, each one, and so on. And I was very impressed and thought, 2 minutes shower, how long is this? And how long could that be? And then I heard that in Africa they did 2-minute songs. To play it, if you go into the shower, when the song finishes, it's 2 minutes. You have to turn water off.
No.
Yes. And then I thought, wow, this is a cool idea. This is a cool idea first. Can one do 2-minute song? And the second, yes, what is 2 minutes? How long is 2 minutes? And I started to do 2-minute songs. And I asked all my friends around and said, can you do 2-minute songs? And then a lot of people love to do that. And in the end, we had so many that I thought, okay, we make a charity CD. We have, I think, 16 songs on it, 2 minutes long. And with poems or lyrics written. And I think I have 3 ones with poems. But I want to play my most favorite from that. It's one made with a Finnish guy, Seppo Mattila is his name. And the song is called Water Lily, a poem of Henrik Ibsen. And as maybe a very short, funny story to this, when I introduced this to Gema wants me that I pay for this because they had a Henrik Ibsen signed in, and I said, cannot be. And they said, yes, we have. And I said, this Henrik Ibsen died in 1600 something. And then they said, oh, sorry. And then, of course, I have not to pay anything, and it was a nice error.
A nice error, yes.
Now here comes Water Lily with Seppo Mattila and me.
In the spring, and when you dream. the spring it lay a dream. Home like to bestow this guest, what you dear it into her breast. There is we the secret key of a wave will still and deep. Of a wave both still and deep. Child, be aware the tongue-fed stream. Danger, danger, there to dream. Though the sprite pretends to sleep, and above the lilies feed. Shine time blossom in the street. Danger, danger, there to dream. Though above the lilies feed, and the sprite pretends to sleep. Sleep, the lilies feed.
Thank you a lot for this lovely interview. I guess there is still so much more to tell the people, and I hope to have you here soon again.
I hope too.
Thank you very much. It was a real pleasure for me. Before I go, I want to share with you a song with my live band now. It is called Cyber Sundays. We are doing only self-made songs, as always in my life. We are 5, Michael Hallbrucker on bass guitar, drums Charlie Geisler, Alexander Hildebrand on the second guitar, and the lead guitar Hans Stettmeier. And this song is about Hans' former band. When I saw him first time around in the area, I was in love, unbelievable. I loved how he played and how he was on stage. And when I met him first time, I always thought, oh, I need to sneak him up. I want to be in one band with him. But of course it was never the case. He was much more class higher than I was. But we liked each other and we were friends for a while. And after a while we tried to do a song together, and this works very well. And then I thought, okay, how can I get this guy for a band? And I wrote a song about his band, which was New Grey Whistle Test, the name. I saw them live a couple of times and was amazed, and then I wrote this song for him and gave it as a present. And this was the start of Cyber Sundays, let's say, because he loved this song and he wanted to play it live, and then he wanted me to sing, and then we started to look for other people to join the band, and now here we are. This song is Best Band on Stage.
Enter the night, on the ceiling burn stars in red and blue. Let's hold a small lighter, and the fire is blending out into a spin. Abandoned streets, 'cause the city's out to listen to the sound. The curtain is falling, and the sun is down, the spotlight closes in. The way to move, the way to sing, the way the guitars tune in. To be a star from dynamite, to keep the dark skies open wide. Rooting vibes that start to dance, but tonight we lost the lance. We can make the world go climb up figures painted on the wall, rewriting my feelings till the night starts sparkling arrows in the sky. Living our dreams, you know my heart is reading things like that too. The way the moon is the way to sing, the way the guitar's tuning. To be a star from dynamite, to keep the dark skies open wide. Grooving vibes that start to dance, but tonight we lost the maps. We can make the world go round, 'cause we can change this master's sound. Walk right on. This is the best band in town. Walk right on. People wanna hear the sound. Walk right on. This is the best band in town. Walk right on. The people wanna hear the sound. Walk right on. This is the best band in town. Walk right on. The people wanna hear the sound.
Hope to
Bye
see
bye.
you again.
Bye bye.
Her name was Christine Ax.